Okay, good afternoon all. Hope everyone is well. Okay, so tomorrow I was just looking at this, whether we're going to push down for a second leg. I'm not sure that we've got two legs up there. So Russell, good morning to you. Disco, good morning. Richard, good morning. Armanas, how you doing, buddy? So, what am I thinking here? Now, there are sellers down here. I would be thinking this is a leg down and possibly a drop here. You've got to be a bit careful, though. Possibly a fail breakout. We're not really getting much in the way of rejection, aren't we? That's the problem. No, we're definitely not. Let's have a look. So we got whether we got two legs down or one. I think it's irrelevant. The trouble is, Jeffrey, how you doing, buddy? The trouble is, if this is a channel, we've got a break of it. We've come down quite far, so my guess is it's probably going to come down. We'll soon find out now. If we got an inside bar, really, there's nothing we can do there, unfortunately. If we get a second entry short, we may have a go. We'll see. So 69 we got buyers. So we got buyers right at the bottom. See if this bull bar triggers and gives us a lower high. My trouble is we could get a leg and it may come down there. So I would have to get a second entry short here. Just not sure. Yeah, I think that's more like that personally. Now, see if we get a bull bar trap in these longs here. I don't know, to be honest with you. Karina, good morning. Oh, you have a headache, so chill. Okay. I'll try not to talk so much. I'll do my best. No promises. Yeah, headaches are unpleasant. I used to get migraines years ago, but without the headache. Really weird. You get all the other weird sensations, sickening feeling, blurred speech. Okay, two legs up. Let's see what's going on here. We have had a little break of it, so we may be going up. It's hard to say, to be honest with you. 85 and 90. There are orders up here. Now, if it doesn't fail and come back in here, it's not going to, I don't think. There is a second entry short, too risky, just in case we're going up, because we've had a little channel with a break. So I wouldn't want to go short. Possibly a failure there. I don't like failures that are that far from the EMA because it could still come down. And even if that was a channel, surely it's not off the bottom. It's off the top. So if I put that there, a channel, I don't want to be going long here, right in that top section of this. I pull that back a little bit. So there is a second entry short, but to be honest with you, channel break, new low, little bit of sideways. You don't know if this thing's going to fail. It's going to do it here, I think, possibly here, but I don't know. I have to give this uptrend a chance. I don't want to just assume this is going to come down because I may be wrong. There is a failure there, second entry short failure. You just don't want to go long right into the top of this possible channel. As I say, it is a little bit early. No body blows accounts. Yeah, that's the new rule now. If you blow accounts, Karina will ban you. So if you do blow accounts, just keep your mouth shut. Don't say anything. In fact, we should have that. If you watch rugby, they have something called the sin bin, where if you do something bad, they lock you in the sin bin for us. So, what you should do, Karina, is if anybody blows any accounts, you wanna ban them, temporarily ban, or you can block them for 1 hour. So we'll see. Okay. So far, there's not really much you can do with this. It's not super clear. Channel here with a break. Now, I had a possible. There's always a possibility of a larger channel there. It doesn't look terrible. We got a break new high, but I don't know, to be honest with you. We're supposed to have 3 touches, really, aren't we, of a channel? So let's. I don't know. I'll just leave that like that, I think. Well, we had a ton of snow last night. We got about 6 inches of snow dumped on us last night. Trouble is, we've got rain now, so everything's turned into sludge. Our local river's going to be flooded. I blow an account before Christmas. Don't tell her. We'll keep that to ourselves, mate. Before Christmas, anyway. It's last year. It doesn't count. Okay. So what have we got here now? What does that look like? It's fitted along that midline quite nice. So a second entry long. What do you think? There are sellers at 90, which is right at the top. So a second entry long wouldn't be too bad. I much prefer it down here, though. I don't like it when it's. Or could I move that up a bit? There's no room left. I mean, it's 19 ticks. So there's a 1.5. You get a 1.25 a push, no good for me. Now, I have moved that up here. It could be a 2-tiered channel, but we'll see. We're not far from that big bear bar, so there's bound to be some stops there and quite likely there. So we could have a couple of legs up it, but it's 19 ticks, tick above, tick below. If that had pushed down there and the bottom of that bar would have been sat on there, it would have been 12 ticks. It may have been a different story, but it's still early in the day and nothing's really clear, so you just don't know. And whenever I move something like that, you've got to give it a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, because there could be an overshoot. And if they're overshoot, this thing could come tumbling down. So for me, there is a second entry long, possible failure, but it's congested around here. So I think if we have an overshoot, you're always probably best assuming it is an overshoot and just avoid the next trade, because there's a bit of a double trap here. There's shorts trapped and longs trapped. So who knows? Little Hammer, how you doing, buddy? So it's clearly just a little bit congested here, so it could go either way here, to be honest with you. My guess is it's probably going to have a quick rush down and get below there, because this does look like an overshoot. Usually that first, second entry long after an overshoot can be risky, and I'll be amazed if it doesn't tick below there. But you never know. Who knows? If it does hold there and doesn't break below, it may be a wider channel, but I'm just giving this. Now, obviously, after an overshoot, a lot of time we do have a correction. So if this does come down and breaks below here and closes here, it may be okay, but I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. And if you're not sure, I think you're always best off just to sit tight and let it be. See, Dan has got that, which means he's thinking about a new high. So maybe we get a correction. For me, there's no way I'll be interested in buying it until we get below that bar. But a couple of legs back, maybe we'll see. There are buyers at 80, which is there. So let's just get a buy order here.
Submitted.
See if we get some buyers here. He is a good trader, mate. Yeah, you're right. See what happens here. Oh, it's not a terrible bar. See if it gets better on this side. So there are big sellers there. So if this is an overshoot, this may be a correction. Not sure about this. No, I'm just going to sit tight. I don't like this. There may be a bit of a channel down there. So it's hard. Yeah, there's something about this I don't like. There's one or two with that. It does fit on that midline, which is interesting, but I'd expect some kind of reaction there, which we haven't really got. I'm just not a fan of this at the moment. There's always that possibility we could be ranging a bit here. It's a possibility. So if you go long here, you may get stung. So that's a possibility. So as it's a possibility, I'm just going to do that. So it's an area of interest instead of something I really like. He's experienced trader, Dan. He's kind of a bit of a natural chart reader. He's very good. He's helped me out over the years, to be honest with you. Dan and Marco, they're two of the ones that I think have helped me out a lot over the years. Okay, so maybe there's a correction there. See, I'm still seeing strong sellers here. and there are more sellers up here. So it's hard to say, isn't it? So got a break new low there. So I wouldn't be thinking about taking a short here. Based on what I can see on Bookmap, it's more likely to go up. So it'd be interesting to see if this traps traders long, short. See where it goes. I mean, that big bull bar is. That surprised me. If it does come down, then maybe it is more of a range. I wasn't expecting that to do that, to be honest with these buyers up, with these sellers a bit. Mind you, the sellers are still quite a way off, and that can make a bit of a difference. It's okay, so maybe a leg and a leg. So I'm going to put that more like that for now. Maybe it's something else. Doesn't really matter anyway, I don't think. So channel break new low. Now I'd like to get below all that liquidity there. It may work. I'm just sitting tight here. There are some buyers around about 68, which is below there. But who knows? If it is ranging, it may push up. But channel break new low, there is kind of like a couple of legs, but there's going to be liquidity below that line. I can tell because there are buyers below that line, right below that one bar there. So for me, that makes this a bit of a weak point. Now, it doesn't mean if aggressive buyers like this level, then they may just buy, and that might push it up. But if we don't get those aggressive buyers now, a lot of the time it'll fall down here. Now, they're not as strong as they were, so it may not. They're fading. Yeah, they're fading out. It's hard to say. I wouldn't want to go short here either, to be fair. It's a bit wicky. Yeah, I mean, there's a big black area here on Bookmap, so there are less orders. So that may mean it might struggle to go up. But as I say, if we get an aggressive buyer's push here, then maybe it'll go up. There's going to be bulls trap there and bulls trap there. So is this thing going to come down?
Order submitted.
Trouble is, look at the damn size of it. No, bar's naff anyway.
Order cancelled.
So this chart and second chart, higher low. So that would be a possible. Let's see if this one. Let's have a look. I'd want this to break above that bull bar and trap some longs. Trouble is, do I really want to go short into all this? You can clearly see it's playing a part. With what I'm seeing, we're struggling to get a move off here. So my guess, it's probably going to come down, but there's no trade here for starters, even if you liked it. And we've already made a new low from there. Sometimes it'll make attempts to go down, but you'd certainly have more buyers in this area because of this level. But we've pushed down and rejected out of it. So my guess is it may have another go. But we got no trade here anyway. It's a bit congested. You just never know. As I say, I have got some buyers at 7.5, 67.5, which is there, which is below here. So we'll see. There's no trade here anyway. If I was going to guess, my guess probably would have a quick flush down first, but who knows? certainly wouldn't trade it. Red news. Yeah, where are we? 3 o'clock. Yeah. Stacking up here anyway. My guess is it's more likely going to go down, but call it an educated guess. You never know, but we may trap sellers here, and this thing may rocket up. I don't know, to be honest with you. But yeah, news coming up in about 7 or 8 minutes, 6 or 7 minutes. There's going to be some short stops up here for sure. So we could get a leg up and a leg up. We may get a bearish buy. It might come tumbling down. Who knows? Trouble is shorting into this. You can clearly see it's obvious on here. I've got it as a midline here, but you can see how it's working there, how it's working there, how it's working there. Now we've had that big bullish bar, 28 ticks off there. There's obviously a next level of buyers there, isn't there? And the way this is crossing over and pushing up, you'd expect it to get towards the top. And as I say, we've got sellers at 90 there, and we've got sellers about 87, which is a little bit below it. So sellers there, my guess is it's going to find its way. Daryl, how you doing, bud? Didn't see you there. Sorry, mate. Okay, when's the news? 3.5 minutes. Paolo, how you doing? Just follow up. How is Vladdy teaching? It's all right, I think. I had a brief chat with him last night. He messaged. I sent him a message. When did I send him? I I sent a message saying, hey, pal, I'm not going to continue with this score. As I trade for a living, I need to focus on Fridays, and I work better when I separate work from family time over the weekend, because he does a session on Sunday. But wishing you all the best 2026. Anything you need, just shout out. And he's like, hey, that's no problem. Yeah, definitely. You're definitely a good trader. Hey, if you still want to be in it, I can make you a mod and give you free, no monthly access like Eric, Marco, Sean, and Ulysses. I put, okay, yeah, that'd be great. I can nip in and chat from time to time. And he's just sent me a link now, and I've clicked the link, and it's taken me to pay via WAP. So I've just messaged him. So I haven't got the time to commit to Friday, you know, when he's chatting. And on the Sunday's the difficult thing for me, because I've tried to separate. I think it's important not, you know, to have a little break over the weekend. So we usually have Sunday dinner on a family dinner and that sort of thing on a Sunday. But he does a session of about 3.5 hours. I mean, he certainly puts the hours in. No arguing there. But it's unfortunate I haven't got the time for that. But you know, I'm quite happy to chit chat. You can never know enough traders in this business. So I'm happy to chat on the channel, but I just can't get in at the moment. But yeah, he's okay, I think. Okay, possible second entry short. We've got news coming up in about 45 seconds, so this could go anywhere. So let's just we've still got those sellers there. Let's just clear these few up here and see what this news. So we got news in 30 seconds, high probability news, so it could spike up or down. So if you are in a trade, you want out of it. Maya asked him to record. Samuel, maybe ask him to record. I think he does anyway, bud. I think one of the other guys on there puts it into a video. But yeah, I certainly have a listen to that. I have listened to some of his videos. It's just hard on a Sunday, you know. And obviously Friday, I'm here with you guys. And if I wasn't trading for a living and I didn't need to earn the money, then I'd happily hook up. So, news has happened. Not really much as of yet. Mind you, that happened yesterday, but then we had a little bit, or was the day before, then we had a little bit of a delayed reaction. You can see on Bookmap, it's a really good indicator on Bookmap that we're likely to get some news by it all goes black. There are orders there, not a huge amount, but for the most part, you can see where the orders were, and all of a sudden the things went dark, but they'll start to come back in. Now, what about that? There were 1,000 people on his waiting list. Only 100 shots available. Was it BS? No idea, mate. I don't even know how many people are on it. I don't know if I can tell, can I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 1, 2, 3, 4, flex. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 80. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 88 at the moment. 88. That's what I've counted. So he's definitely got some interest. No argument there. Okay. So, what is going on here? What's going on here? There's nothing much you can do here, really. We're just kind of chopping up and down. You're welcome, mate. I can't remember how many slots he said. I thought it was 50, actually, but he's got 88 in, so I think he's 12 short, I think, of his 100. Let's have a look. Okay. Second entry short that's been triggered. Is this going up? Who knows? It might do, or it might come down. This to me isn't clear. It's in the middle of this chop. So I who knows? It could turn. It could come flushing down. You're going to have stops here. Are you going to have stops up here? It's broke above there. So it's hard to say. This just could come down. There's going to be buyers there for sure. But we've been up here once, twice, 3 times. You just never know. And not only that, it's a fucking massive bar, isn't it? I draw the line if bars are too big. I mean, what is it realistically? It's 7.25 points. 7.25 point risk. I ain't interested in that. It may work and push up here, but you don't know where it's going to go then. And we've pushed up 1, 2, 3, 4 times, so this may come down and ruin your day. So you got 7.25 point risk, and what profit has it gone to? So it would have just worked, but look at that now. So it's just too risky getting into trades like that when it's not clear and we're going down, up, down, up, down, up. We go down, we go up, we go down, we go up, we go down, we go up, we go down. Where's it going? We go up. Where's it going now? Down? You reckon so? So, fortunately, it would have worked, but it's just too risky. Just makes it much easier to get 4 ticks. It does, but for me, if I was risking 7.25 points to make 1 point, for me, it's madness. Now, obviously, the bars are a bit bigger, but look at the size of the bars today. Any bar you take recently is going to be 5 points, and you're risking 5 to make 1. It's mad for me. The good thing about going for 3 points is good trades comfortably make 3 points, and you only need to take 1 trade to the next guy's 3. So it's how it works for me. I'm not saying, anybody, if you trade 1 and it works for you and you make money, happy days. But for me personally, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't risk 7.25 points to make 1. Because if you get it wrong once in 5 times, you've got to have an 80% win rate minimum to make money. Scalping for a point, really. Now, I know Max says his runners compensate for that. But he also says only risk about 20% or 25%. So you really need to be risking 4 to 5 or trading 4 to 5 contracts really before you can get in with a runner. The only issue I have as well is people like Trump have got a habit of tweeting. So I like to be in a trade and out of a trade quite quick. It don't work for me, but some people it does. Vladdy says the same. He doesn't like runners. He goes for a flat 2 points. Have a look. I'd love 4 ticks work, but yeah, I mean, if you look back on a lot Max videos, it was rare back when he started this. It was rare he was risking more than 2 points. That I've got no issues with. Risking 2 points to make a point, I've got no issue with, but just it rarely exists anymore. It's rare you can get into a trade and only be risking 2 points. That's unless you get a limit order and get back in early. But half the time, if it was a good setup, you miss it anyway. Let's have a look. I find myself back engineering setups. If I see a higher low, lower high, does confirm anything. Makes sense. When it's like this, really, it's hard to trade. I mean, you can say there's a second entry short here or second entry long here, but when it is chopped up and down, a lot of the times when it's in the middle of chopped, they get away. You've got to get in strong positions, and really, the strongest place to trade in here is the tops and bottoms. And a lot of this stuff, it's just hard. But when it's not clear as well, it's a horrible start to the day, to be honest with you. It's just one of those things. Yeah, it's not pretty, this, is it? Put something larger there. Okay, channel break, 2 pushes to a new low. See what happens down here. I can't just jump in here, really. I mean, yesterday was pretty much a choppy range day. So we may make an attempt to sort this out. It's hard to say. 9 a.m. news item. So, channel break new low. There is a possible highlight. It's a doge anyway, but I just don't like, for me, it's picking a bottom when we're so close to the overnight highs. You just never know what's going to. Now, we have had a channel down there with a break, 2 pushes to a new low. But the higher low is a doji, so you just never know here. Sometimes it'll rocket up to the EMA, other times it'll come down and take that one out again. So I just stay out of this. I think it's fair to say we've had a channel down there with a break and a new low, but who knows? Does look like it's going to get up here. Probably a bit of liquidity here. But the trouble is the higher lows are doji, so uh, so possibly a second entry short. Wouldn't take that too far from that EMA. I don't like it anyway. That channel has played out, so you've got to give this a bit of space, let it figure out whether we're going to push back up or we're going to go sideways or we're going to go down. How's the snow looking? Starting to melt already. I think we had probably 4 to 5 inches here, something like that, but it came down super quick. But we've got a bit of rain now, and we're due to rain over the next couple of days, so I won't be surprised. I think next week, early part of next week, it's going to warm up to maybe 7, 8 degrees in a day, so it will disappear as quick as it came, I think, when it... I'm guessing you've got some, haven't you? I think you had some anyway, didn't you, yesterday? You already had it. It was about, I know it was about 6 or 7 o'clock last night. It started coming down super thick. So, let's put that like that. And call that an overshoot. Could put it there and say there's a small break. Maybe there is. I'm going to put it like that and just call it an overshoot. Got another day of this by the looks of things. That wasn't a nice day. I did take a trade in the other day. It wasn't the greatest trade. It was a higher low. I looked back on it. It was here. Trouble is, it was coming from the top to the bottom, but it's just one of those things. It made enough, fortunately. It chopped up and down a bit more before pushing up. I'd have preferred it to be a bit lower, but I got a 2.25 points. I think it went 2.75 points, but I hate these days. And then there was the failure here that I ummed and ah of. It was it here. Second entry long failure. I ummed and ahhed about that, but it was right in the middle of this. Trouble is, when you've been through a spell without taking a trade for a while, you have trust issues and you start questioning yourself. But it worked in the end. So it's one of those things. If you don't feel right, sometimes you're best off just leaving it and just waiting to sort of get back on the horse. Night we're up here, snow falls, freeze overnight, goes rock hard. Rains are freeze straight away, yeah. Yeah, roads were quite bad yesterday. I took my daughter to a boyfriend's house sort of early evening last night, and it was pretty slippy with the roads. The roads were all covered and cars were doing about 20 miles an hour, so winter certainly is here. Mind you, we're starting to get brighter nights now. We've passed that shortest day of the year, winter solstice, or whatever it's called. So we are slowly aiming now. We're on the summer side, aren't we? For want of a better word, it's still bloody freezing. It's still bloody freezing though. Just rain southeast, yeah. Southeast. You've had a lot of wind as well. I think it started in Cornwall. They had severe weather in Cornwall, didn't it? The wind kind of moved across the south of the country, didn't it? And a little bit higher where we were, there was a kind of a big kind of band, or big circle of snow, and I think they had snow further up, didn't they? But I think the south coast more got battered with rain and wind. It's all the Americans' fault, isn't it? That's where it came from. That's who I blame. So, channel overshoot. Trading in my van in the middle of Brighton. Are you really? I got a nephew living in Brighton. I haven't been to Brighton for years. My wife's got a cousin in Brighton as well. I've not been to Brighton for years. I used to live in Winchester, which is not far. It's just about 30, 35 miles north of kind of Portsmouth and Bournemouth. So you're just kind of further east. He's trading in a van. Was it like a camper van? I've always wanted to have a go at building one of those. I always enjoy building stuff rather than making them. It. I'd love to have a go at you're an electrician. Gotcha. Nice to see you've got your priorities. Put work aside. You have told me that before, haven't you? You have told me. I remember, yeah. Two things I won't touch: electrics and water. Mind you, people don't really get electrocuted so much anymore, do they? They used to years ago. I think it was my mum's auntie got literally cut in half. I mean, we're talking a long time ago, but you don't hear people getting electrocuted anymore, do you? Really? That's unless you're in the US and it's in a chair. I think they still do. Don't they still do electric chairs in the US at some points? Ready for a road trip in one of my adventure van builds. I'd love to have a go at one of those vans. I mean, if you look at the vans, the pre-done ones in the UK, they're half go for an arm and a leg. They're so expensive. It's not unusual, like a couple of berth, 70 grand in the UK. It's mad. They really are the price. So I think sometimes you're better off doing it yourself. I know I got a cousin that lives up just north of Edinburgh, and that's what he did. I think he paid about 7,000 or 8,000 for a it's a long wheelbase something or other, and they kitted it out. I'm quite good with wood, to be fair, and stuff like that. I can put me hand to most things, but yeah, I was a bricklayer for a long time, so you get used to measuring, cutting, and all that sort of stuff, keeping things level and plumb and all that. Once you've done that type of stuff, you're in Archie, and I'd love to have a motorhome in the future, travel around different. Yeah, it'd be nice, wouldn't it? I like the idea of just literally jumping in there and going wherever you want. I've always wanted to do that North Coast 500 where you kind of drive uh, around the edge of Scotland, kind of from one side to the next, and vice versa. I think it's 500 miles all the way around. But as you guys know, I'm a big whiskey, I'm a big single malt fan anyway. So I like the idea of traveling around there and stopping at stopping at some of the whiskey places and sampling the delights. But Scotland's beautiful anyway. I've not spent too much time in Scotland. I've never been to Edinburgh. I've been up to a little bit. I think I can't remember, north of Carlisle anyway. So I went up there to drop some stuff off. Really, I've been to Ayrshire a little bit on the left side, but I haven't really been anywhere else. So what is going on here? So it's pretty much ranging. The trouble is the bottom's relatively stable, but look at the top. Every time we get up, we're at a different level. If we can get a second entry long down here, it wouldn't be a bad option. That's 72.5. We have got some buyers, which is right at the midline. So 2 legs down to here would be okay. You could say. Now, I don't really like considering this as a first test for a triple test because it's on the way up. But as we've bounced twice or closed twice, it might not be so bad. So once, twice, it just looks like it's going to take off. I was hoping we get a second leg down here, leg and a leg, and then maybe get in there with some buyers. So there are some buyers there and right on the midline, but this thing's nearly at the top now. So China. Oh, Okachicha. What the hell's that? Starship Black. Oh, okay. I said China for a minute. My eyesight's not what it used to be. I know my sister and brother-in-law's got one of these VW campers they bought. I think he took a chunk of his pension and they bought it. I think it was pretty new, maybe a 6 months old or something, 5 or 6 years ago. But they're all up the place. They live down in Winchester. They go to the New Forest. They go up to the Lake District all the time. So they just jump in and away they go. It's just it's a home on wheels, isn't it? It's why I think why they hold the price so well. Hate it when it does that. It just doesn't come back. So annoying. Western North Coast. Yeah, I mean Scotland is a beautiful place anyway. It's raw. I believe it's one of the very few places as well that you can just literally pitch a tent up and light a fire, can't you? So many places you can't now, but I think you've got that freedom there, haven't you, Scotland? But I do love Scotland, and I'm I like, as you know, I like my whiskies, and I always kind of go out to a Burns night somewhere, have a night out. If you've never had a Burns night, they're a great night out as well. In fact, I think me and my wife are going out to. Is it this? It's a week on Friday, is it? No, we're going out to a whiskey tasting night. I think it's the 23rd because Burns night's on the. Yeah, it is 2 weeks today. Burns night is on the 25th normally, but I think we're going to a lovely little pub which is about 400 years old called the Old Cross. in the little town where I live. Beautiful old place, old beams and that, and they do a burns night there. So I think we're going to go for a wine testing, get tanked up, and then go and have a nice meal. A night in a bothy in the Scottish border, really. 8 degrees, absolutely freezing. Yeah, I watch a lot of these guys that do that type of thing. I watch the Outdoor Boys YouTube channel. I like all that outdoor stuff. But yeah, I've seen them doing that in Scotland. It is fantastic, Scotland, isn't it? It's one of the few places really that you got that very wild, kind of very wild. Just looking at a. So we got a channel here with a break, new high. We got a channel. Now I've had that like that, and I've had it more tight. I think that looks okay because we've touched there, touched there, touched there, and this looks like 2 legs up. There is kind of, well, not so much of a high or low, but close to it. I thought we'd have a couple of legs and get some rejection. This may come down, but I'm not so sure. Now, I have traded the CL before in the past, and usually it can look great. But lately it's been naff. 20 road miles, 12 air miles. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so now what's happening up here? Are we going to get some rejection? Trouble is, we've got a lot of buyers just below this level. 84 to about 89. So we got lots of buyers here. So there are traders thinking this is going to push further up. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. So big chunk of buyers all around this area. There are a few sellers just above it, which you'd expect. Okay, so we've broken the overnight highs. Now let's see where this goes. Is this thing going to target this area? We've got all-time highs up here, so not a million miles away. 5, 10, 15, 20 points. Right. So, 85, 87.5, and 90. 85, 87.5, 90. There are buyers right around this area again. So if we do pull back, there are traders wanting to buy. So 5, 10, 15, 18 points, and we're at all-time highs. It's fitting really nice there, isn't it? Nice and snug. Right at the bottom here, right at the top. Logger on the bear bar, that one there. Not to go short, did you? Too early to go short at the moment. This is pushing up. As we've broken the highs, See, that's another good reason I like Bookmap, because for me, this is showing there are buyers here and sellers here, which is telling me if it goes up, it lit sellers great. If it comes back, it lit buyers and push up great. So for me at the moment, price is likely to continue up. How long for? I couldn't tell you, but 97.5 for certain. So definitely to that level. In fact, 7,000 as well. They're starting to pull up now. 7,000, 7,005. So there are sellers there, and there are sellers at 7,005. So it looks to me like they're trying to shove this up. You can see them popping up. So 95 and 92. Let's get rid of this now. So 95, there are buyers, and 92, 2.5, there are buyers. So with buyers here and sellers here, that's telling me this thing is more likely to continue up. So if we did have a second entry down here, then maybe I'd have a go if it looked good enough. So there are buyers here now. To be honest with you, I don't like buying just off here. I don't like buying. I just never have. I don't like buying just off the bottom of the channel. I always like it to connect with the EMA as well. It just, because you never know, as we've broken above highs, whether this now is going to have a break. And if it does, it could likely come back to the EMA and certainly possibly test this area here. So if we just came back to here, I don't think I'd take it unless it looked completely wonderful, which I don't think so. Okay, down you come. Okay, some more buyers down here. Now let's see what happens. I'd much prefer it to come down to the EMA here. It may do. We'll see. Technically, there's a second entry long if it forms here, but trouble is, when we've been ranging, a lot of breakouts fail. Now, that's got a fair distance, and if it was going to fail, my guess is it probably would have done it from there. But I'm just going to sit tight here. I would much prefer 2 legs down, so I'd like to have another go. It's just too far from that EMA for me. So many times that would trigger and come down. There are buyers at 90, which is there, which is right at that EMA. So this may have a little. Now, the bigger the channel up there, as we know, usually the bigger the break. That's a tiny break. So for me, unless there's a lot of aggressive buyers, it doesn't usually do that. If it does do that, in most cases, or a lot of cases, it's part of the channel up, and that really isn't, because it's fitting quite snug here, top and bottom. So, but sometimes you just never know. There's not a huge amount of buyers at the 90, and they've disappeared now, but 7,000 is quite lively. It's 300 odd contracts here. So sometimes if there's not enough buyers, that kind of magnetic pull is ineffective or are not as effective. And if there's bigger buyers up, bigger sellers up here, usually that'll pull, which is probably why in some cases we have a slight break and off it goes. But there we go. There is a second entry long. For me, it's a bit risky, I think, because there is room to that EMA, and so many times it'll break and come down here. But on that note, there wasn't a huge amount at 90, and just not enough to pull it down, I think. But it doesn't mean I was comfortable taking that. But there you go. I can't see. I can't see anyone taking it, to be honest with you, on the Discords. Yeah. Dan said, not really looking at the second entry long. It's just a bit risky. Someone said they like it. It's not a good one. It's not a good one. The fact that it works irrelevant, really. Someone said they took it on a sim. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, see, normally I'll ask myself the question, is that a break? But if I bring that out, it kind of miss it. Well, it doesn't look terrible, to be fair. You may, in fact, that's an interesting question. It fits just as nice. And as I say, if it's a small break and it pushes straight up, for me, it's quite likely not a break. So it's hard to say. I mean, we're touching relatively well, and the tops look okay. So it's just one of those. Let me have a look. It's just one of those areas where you can make a slight adjustment and it fits okay. So it doesn't mean I'd be jumping into a short and thinking we've gone down. I can see there are plenty of sellers in this area, so who knows? Maybe there's a break and a new high. It's a very minor one, so I mean, if I close that up like that, it's hard to say. I mean, it works both ways, so you've just got to be a bit careful. Sometimes we might get a second entry long failure here, and traders may go long. So for that reason, I'm just aware that we may have already had a small break, so I wouldn't get into a second entry long here. I can't see much in the way of buyers here. I can see sellers here. So we are within spitting distance of all-time highs. Yeah, someone else has just posted that as well. And it's not a break. In which case, the second entry long might not have been terrible. But as I mentioned earlier, I do prefer my entries off that EMA. It just gives you a little bit more stability. Because sometimes if it's not close to the EMA, and sometimes it'll come back, and that's always what concerns me. But on this side, it does look more like a break. It's hard to say, really. You can micro adjust it. Uh, so there are plenty of sellers there. That lower high there, it's a doji on mine. I'm not sure whether this is a break and it's going to push up or whether the thing's reversing. It's hard to say. It's a bit of a doji, to be honest with you. Well, it is a doji. I'm just not sure. It may be reversing because that may be a small break. But until I see a little bit more, see on this chart, it's looking like a possible second entry long. That might then be trapping the longs to go short. The only issue I have is if you look on Bookmap, there's a lot of orders at 7,000 and there's a lot of orders at 7,005. So that may be strong enough to pull prices up. But I'm not sure at the moment. I don't know whether this is a small break, new high, and this is reversing, or whether it isn't a break and this is the first break of the channel. It's hard to say. Okay, now there'll be liquidity here, I don't doubt. Now there is technically a second entry long there. I don't like this. It's not a long I'd be interested in. It's hard. This is just unclear. I can adjust it on this chart. The break looks a little better because it's fitting nice there. But on this one, it's not so bad. We didn't get a failure there anyway. Maybe we will. Let's think if we get a second entry long here that fails. Who knows? May go with that one. I don't know. That doesn't look terrible. No entry here for me anyway. No failure here to go short. Don't know how I'd feel about it anyway with such a lot of sellers up here. It doesn't mean they're going to get there, of course. I'm going to put that back. Okay, buyers at 85. So, what I'd like to see is something like that. A couple of legs up, test this underside, and then move down. Because this, if we get a bit of a push up. There's probably still traders thinking it might test this high because there is a bunch of sellers here. But to be honest with you, those sellers are quite a bit far away, so I can't see it getting up there, to be honest with you. So see if we can get a couple of legs back, maybe trap some longs. I think it's come too far down, really, for longs to be interested in this. The other day I saw on bookmap huge red level above price. Price moving towards it. I thought, no way, I'll short this. Yeah, I know what you're saying. That's why even a lot of the times I'm thinking price looks like it's coming down to me, but I've seen strong orders up here and it pushes up. So you have to pay attention to bookmap if you get used to it. Now, okay, there's been orders up here for quite a long time, but if you can see here, we've pushed and bounced up against it quite a few times. And it just doesn't seem to be getting there, and now it's moving down. So for me, this is a kind of a Wilson, shush. I think this is kind of a reversal. So whether it'll get up there eventually at some point, it may do. I don't think it's going to be in the next 10 to 15 minutes, unless something changes. Maybe if it comes down and bounces and then eventually goes up. But wife, daughter, and a boyfriend going tobogganing, I think. That's why you're getting excited, isn't it? Hey? Cold for you out there, lad. So maybe there is a larger channel. That's what I'm thinking. And if you look at the bottom, it actually looks quite nice. So if we can get a couple of legs up, I'd have a go at a short there. There are some sellers. Let me have a look. There's 106 sellers at around about there-ish, which kind of makes sense. Come on, have a shove up. So far, so good. Now, what I will say is, are there going to be traders going long here? Possibly, because they're going to be thinking, we've pulled back to that 50% level. Now we're going to go up. So if we can trap some longs there, there's a possible higher low there. If that pushes up, traps possibly some longs, and we get a bit of rejection here, we may come down, but it's stacking up a bit now. We need to make that push quick. There are buyers at around about 79-ish, which is there. Stacking up a bit now. We need to get up. Let's get an order ready just in case.
Order submitted.
Bars of doji there. Doesn't look too bad there. Just not sure about this. Let's have a look. Is there any type of a channel there? Maybe. I don't know. It's hard to say. It's hard to tell, really. I'm just sitting tight at the minute. I need something a bit better than that. There are some sellers around about 6.5, which is there. I'd much prefer it to clear liquidity and test closer to this line. That to me looks more like just one channel, I think. So let me just get rid of that a minute. I'm just
Order
going to sit
canceled.
tight. It may work, but I'm not interested. I don't care. Okay, it did work. Yeah, a lot of people said lower high needed. I'd agree with that. Sometimes they just work, regardless of whether there's a good setup. Sometimes it'll get back to the EMA and down it'll come. But it's always a way, mate. Every time you skip it, you're always best off leaving. If it's not clear, you're always best off leaving it. Because like you say, if you do nothing, see, this for me is in this little channel up, so it may not work. That's why, as tempting as it is sometimes, you're always best off leaving it, because you'll lose it more times than not. There were sellers just above there. There's a bit of liquidity there, and then we got this support and resistance level here, so I think it's always best if we can just get to it. We may get another leg up to it. Who knows? If we get a couple of legs or close to a triple test, that may give us that move down. Uh, okay, just give me a couple of minutes. I'll be back. 2 minutes. Okay. Uh, there is a lower high there. Got stuck in something like that the other day, didn't we? It's 20 ticks. It's something like that the other day. You can have a shed load of stops there. Sellers at 85 up here. Probably going to work. 22 ticks though. Not much room to the lows. Yeah. Not a huge people took it. Down didn't take it. It's rather large. There's no room to the lows. If you get that wrong, that's expensive. How big's the bar? So it's about 5.5 points. And how much room to the lows? Not quite enough. I mean, that leg needs to get a bit up here, really, didn't it? Then it'd have been worth it. There's just no room, unfortunately. Tried to limit order, didn't come back. Yeah. It's just gone a bit too far for me. We're right down towards the lows here. There's just no room, to be honest with you. Expensive mistake. What I will say is I like where it is on the EMA. Maybe there's something like that, possibly. Just wasn't quite enough room to the lows, and we have bounced there quite a lot. You can see above there, a little bit of support and resistance. That just makes me a bit nervous. Kind of bouncing. Oh, who knows? I'm just not a massive fan of it. It would have worked. No, it wouldn't have done. Let me have a look. So if I go in a tick below there, it may not have worked. Depends where you got in. Just if that would have been a little bit higher up and it would have closed here, given us plenty of room, then I'd have had a go at it. I'd probably expect it to get down towards these lows, but it's just not worth the risk. It's too big. But I was right about that. You can see it playing a difference there, playing a part there. Look at it across there. You can see it there, here. Bounce, bounce, bounce. So there's a lot of VWAP. Where is VWAP? Oh yeah, 77. Okay, yeah. So VWAP's here, of course, yeah. Where's VWAP at the moment? 77.50, which is there. Twice we bounced off it. So yeah, a lot of traders trade with VWAP in mind, don't they? So certainly a danger of it. Now it may push down below VWAP, but it may not. Do you really want to? It's tested it 3 times. Do you really want to go short and check that? There is a second entry long here, but it is in the middle of this. We had a break, 2 pushes to a new low. So is that a bad trade to go long there? Same again, there is some support there. Do I really want to go long into that? It's just too risky. This is could come down, or it may have a quick spurt up. But either way, it's just too risky. Great day for me, everyone. Good weekend. Yeah, you too, buddy. See you on Monday. I think we got a US holiday coming up at the end of the month. I think we have already, haven't we? Thinking this is just got confusing. Wording confusing. No higher low on here anyway. There is a higher low here, but the bar's finished naff. You don't know. It may still come down. But I'm not interested in it at the moment. Ooh, excuse me. Now, is that a penguin style trade long channel down, 2 attempts to push higher? A lot of the times, penguin will take those when it gets above the EMA. So maybe he'll take that, put his stop there. Mind you, that's a 2-to-1, so I'm not guessing he wouldn't have done that, but maybe that'll work for him. Depends on where you get in. Or there could be a triple test to get short. Trouble is, we're clearly struggling to go down. Do I really want to go short? It's only 6 ticks. It's not huge, but as we've had a break and we've made 2 attempts to go lower and we've struggled, I'd give this a bit of space. It's just not ideal to go short there, really, especially after we found so much support there. Sellers at 87. There's not a huge amount of sellers there, but enough to get a bit higher. 87. Let's say 87 3/4. Where's that exactly? That's up here. 7.5. Say. I mean, if that is a triple test, there's not many trading in there. One thing I will say is it is 2 little legs up and it is a second entry short, but we've had a break of this channel and twice now made an attempt to go lower and we've struggled. So that concerns me. So if you'd have taken that, you'd have been stopped out by a tick. Now, I don't know for a fact whether this is going to come rocketing down now, but as we've had 2 pushes down, for me, that's kind of like an ideal penguin style trade, that is. Channel down with a break, 2 attempts. Once it gets above that EMA, he'd be going along here, putting his... That would have worked, I think, that. So let's say it had gone long somewhere around about there, stop there. He'd have comfortably been out. Now, you're bound to trap traders there, but I don't like that bar as well. It's a little bit limp, for want of a better word. I have a feeling. Well, I don't know whether Thomas Wade would have taken that. I'm guessing he'd have probably been out there if he did. He's marked it as a lower high, but he hasn't. I can't see whether he's traded it. Doesn't look like he has. Did you skip the lower high and say? Doesn't look like he has. Uh, hmm. Wilson, shush. Wilson, shush. So with Penguin, may say it's less about the signal bar, more about the ping. Absolutely. It's more of a larger version of Max. See, by the count, that is a second entry long, but he's looking at 2 legs. So he had 2 legs. Once that gets above the EMA, depends how it reacts, but that's the type of long he'll take. Same with there. If we had 2 legs up, he would take short there, but that he wouldn't take, I don't think. If we got a second leg up there and a bearish reaction, he may have done. But as we've had a break, 2 pushes to a new low a lot of the times. In fact, a lot of the traders on the Trader Hub trade pats. Let's see if any of those have taken it. That's the right one, is it? No, I can't see anything. No, I can't see anything. There's not many. There's not much on there, really, to be fair. Okay, so those orders are still up there at 700. We did try a few times to go up there, but then it failed. Yeah, it's kind of what it is, really. See, if we'd have had a decent failure there, may have had a go at it. There kind of was there, but I don't know. The bit that put me off that is we'd already broken above there. Now, a lot of the times people, if they trade those, may put stops a bit higher, but we'd already pushed above both these bars and came back and it looked a bit weak. I'm guessing stops would have been a little bit higher, but then we had that big bar that shuts up about 4 or 5 points. So it does look like we're pushing up to test these highs. Ah. Okay, so 7,000 imminent, I'd say. Who knows? Okay, I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break. Pop that on there. Just going to make my it's just hard to trade at the moment, but story of my life at the moment. But there you go. So we may get a second leg up. We'll see. But I'm going to take a break for 3 or 4 minutes, make a cup of tea, and I'll be back. Okay, 7,000 level. Got it. So it did eventually. Got close to it here. It dropped back and eventually got up there. So now between 700 or 7,000 and 702 are, or 702 and a half are sellers. So there are sellers between those two lines. So channel break, 1, 2 pushes up to a new high, 1, 2, 1 leg up with a little correction. So there are sellers here, but there are some at 05 as well. All-time highs up here. So if we get this second leg in the measured move, we'll comfortably get up there. No guarantees, but that's where it would take us comfortably above all-time highs. Oh, hello. Now, not sure what I'm looking at here. I've got this kind of thing. We're definitely moving at a trending up at the moment. Channel with a break. 1, 2 pushes to a new low. I was looking for that bearish bar to trigger and then possibly to push up, but it didn't. Unfortunately, I think it's always good if it triggers that bear bar. It's a bit congested. It's not super clear, so I'm just sitting tight here. Okay, so that has gone. So channel break, new high. There is a failure there, isn't? Well, yeah, there is a failure there. It's just it's no good though, is it really? Oh, technically already played out this, so you've got to give it a space. But we still got sellers between there and there. I wouldn't trade this as a fell breakout from here. Yeah, there are orders up here, but it's just technically already played out this, so I'd rather just give this a little bit of space. There are buyers here. Certainly don't think I'll be looking to buy here. If we can get something like that, 2 legs down, bullish bar, traders going long here and trap them. Possible failure. Trouble is, I want to get up here with a failure. And is it a bit broad? Not easy. How everyone else is doing. Okay, Alpine's up a bit. It's nutty trading today, is he? he's not trading today, Nutty, is he? Definitely been a challenging week. At least I'm up a couple of thousand this week. I needed it though. It's been so slow. Maybe something larger. I don't know how I feel about it. There is a long order set. It's just the same again, choppy, 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 innit? There is kind of a higher low here. I just don't like it. I don't. Channel break, possibly new high, bearish bar, triple test maybe. There is 300 contracts to buy right at the bottom there, so break the high and get a nice bearish bar. We could have a triple test. Oh, well, did it dirty there. Where did you go short, did you? It's not the easiest chart to read today. Ah, right, right, right. not convinced. It's hard to say. We struggle there and we struggle there again. See, there is a lag and a lag there. I quite like those kind of looking setups. I'm not taking it though. It may well come down. Oh, well, obviously not. There we go. Okay. Let's see what happens here then. Aggressive buyers there, massive aggressive, more than double the amount of aggressive buyers there pushing that up. Okay, see if we can push higher. Those orders are still around there. It's not the easiest chart to read today, is it? Again, don't know how many times we've said this lately. Okay, getting close to, is it Friday, Thursday? Wednesday's high. So if we get that measured leg, that'll take us over all-time highs. No reason why we won't get there. Comfortably take us. So, bounce. So, more sellers at 5. Buyers at 7. 7,000. So we got buyers here at the top in case it comes down and tests. Sellers up there, 705. But I'm guessing if it hits this, it's going to probably have more sellers up there. So if we can get a couple of legs down, maybe test this, we may get a bit higher. Okay, so we're hitting them sellers there. Don't think it's going to make much of a difference, to be honest with you. Need to pull back and test this here. So we are literally 8 points away from all-time highs. Oh. God, this is boring today. Sometimes I'm in a chatty, talkative mood, Buck. That's today. Uh, we're moving up, but bloody slowly. But we are hitting some sellers here. There's a couple hundred contracts at 705, which is right here. Thomas Wade. I struggle to find a new, bigger pattern. This is why I'm so quiet. Yeah. I have kind of had a look, but it's not ideal, is it, really? It's not great. I suppose the only other option is it may end up being something like this at some point. It fits kind of nice there, which doesn't look terrible, but you want to kind of get it up here. Mind you, if you look at where all-time highs is, we're kind of right in the ballpark of this possible larger channel. It's hard to say. Trouble is, if this is a channel and we're struggling to get up, this thing may have a break. And there are buyers down here below that big bull bar there. So I don't know what's going to happen. It's been an awkward. It's not been the easiest week back. In all fairness, over Christmas you expect it to be quiet. The couple of weeks leading up, yeah, it's going to be quiet. So definitely for the last 3.5 weeks, it's not been easy. It's been choppy. It's been quiet. But you know, you kind of expect that over Christmas. Sometimes it depends. If we'd have got one or two nice setups, it might have felt very different. But now we're getting close to all-time highs. Do you? I mean, if you want to buy this, I mean, from an investment point of view, now's not really the ideal time to get in, is it? When we're a less than 10 points away from all time highs, ideally, you want to wait for some kind of moves back, really. But obviously, from a trader's point of view, do you really want to be buying into the longs? It might be why it's going so slow. Getting very close. So, depending on where traders may have got in early morning, are they going to be taking profits here or up here? Okay, so we've had a little break and we've managed to push up. We are meeting. Lad has got food poisoning at the minute. He did message me last night. He said he was cooking. I'm guessing he didn't do a very good job. Mind you, food poisoning's flipping no joke. I had salmonella once when I was about 21. Christ almighty, I lost about 2.5 stone in 3 weeks. It just falls out both ends, comes out your mouth, comes out your back end. It was horrible. I was a chef at the time working in a castle. Man, was I ill. Oof. Couldn't keep anything down. Everything was going in and coming straight out. That was pretty unpleasant. So we didn't quite get back to the EMA. We did kind of test this area here, and then it's moving off again. But you can't sell into that. Sorry, you can't buy there. It's just congested. Yeah, it could go up. It may just drop down. There's not really much you can do, to be honest with you. God, this is crap, innit, today? Not really much happening on the CL chart either. I'm looking at that. We're clearly going up in some form. I've kind of looked at this, was looking at a possible second entry long. Trouble is, because I can't find nothing larger, I'm looking at these individual channels, so we got a break at a new high there. So you may get stuck in a failure there. Righty-tighty. Do I really want to risk this? Not really. I mean, it's clearly going up. We'll see what it looks like if it comes back to the EMA. Channel break, new low. See what reaction we get here. If I take anything, I'll bring it in. You can watch me physically shake. One of those days, I think. Oh, weeks. At least I'm up a little. At least I'm up a little bit this week. Come on, move, for God's sake. Not a huge amount of volume, is there really, considering it's swinging? If it's chopping, you understand why traders aren't trading it so much, but you had the big move up, then a slightly smaller move up, then a slightly smaller. It does look like we're losing momentum. We're losing longs, I think, the closer we get to that big all-time highs. See, it's like three little moves, and each one's progressively smaller, so I wouldn't be surprised if the thing just completely dive bombs and comes down. I wouldn't be shocked. I certainly wouldn't want to trade along here, not into all-time highs. Try and hold 0-0. Yeah, there's not many trades I've seen today, to be honest with you. I think Thomas Wade's took a trade. There's a possibility he may have taken something here. I'm guessing he may have gone away with it. I don't know, to be honest with you. I shouldn't say that, really, without knowing, but I can't see any pictures of any trades. Nothing. Depends. I mean, some people you'll see taking trades, but if you're taking evaluations, you know, or sims, you understand why people are taking them. But there's nothing obvious that I can see. Nothing from Mac either. I've got a feeling he's away, isn't he? Is he away at some football match or something? Right. Okay. Back to the MA below it, moved up. Back to the MA, moved up. Back to the MA, moved up. Maybe this is a spike and a channel. Let's give that a little bit of space, see if that looks any better. How I feel about that. It's got to get above that EMA, really, isn't it? We have got a little micro with a break and a new low, so we need to push above that EMA and stay above it. I wouldn't want to just take this, make work, but I don't know. Trouble is, as long as you go without trades, as long as you don't see good setups, you kind of just get really not paranoid so much, but you have trust issues, for want of a better word. Market has been quite choppy and it's been a bit trappy. Put it this way, the last few weeks, you've certainly got a call on that patience, which is not a bad thing. It's a good thing sometimes. Okay, let's see if we get a higher low. I don't think this is going to close particularly good. What I don't want to do is get trapped long, but if it pushes up and we get a higher low, it may continue. I don't know. It's a bit vague, I think, isn't it? See how this finishes and see how the higher low looks. That's if we get one. Not convinced we're going to. Oh, we're going for 2 hours, 40 minutes on stream. Half an hour before. Channel break, new high. You just can't go long here. There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. Sellers around about the 8-ish level. Somewhere about there-ish, give or take. Between 7 and 10. So let's say 8.5-ish. Yeah, somewhere around about there. There are sellers. There's a second entry short there. Do I really want to go short there? Not really. Because the biggest lump of orders I can see are here. Now, as we've had a break and a new high, it may well come back down, but it's not the trade for me. Maybe we'll trap some shorts. I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break. I'll be a quick minute. Okay. Okay, sellers are shifting now. There are sellers at 5, which is there. So is this now going down? Trouble is, if we get a second entry long that triggers and gives us a failure, I don't know how I feel about that. It is struggling to get up, isn't it? We had a break, pull back. We had a break, pull back. We had a break, pull back. Let's see if we get a failure here.
Order
We
submitted.
have got sellers there. So if this triggers along, we may get a failure. We're going to have stops there. So we may get something. Let's see. Needs to finish quite bullish, though. There are sellers just above it. EMA is quite low though, so I may change it to 2 points. Just can't see it going much further. Okay, let's finish NAF there, see if it finishes any better on here. Channel break new low. I don't think it's going to be fair. We have got sellers just above there. Come on, finish bullish, just give us a little nick. Trouble is, don't want to be selling into that. See what happens first. But I also don't want to, if it triggers, I don't want to take the engulfing bar either, so it's not going to work, is it? I don't think.
Order cancelled.
So let's just pop that like that. Sellers a little bit higher at around about 7.5, which is above this bearish bar. There are sellers all around this area, so that's just, it's going to be one of those days today, I think, isn't it? Come on, do something for God's sake. Like, you put me to sleep here. Trouble is, from here, it's more or less working up, isn't it? Mind you, the long might be the better option, actually, to be fair. 2 legs back. Clearly finding some resistance there. Clearly going up, aren't we? There's sellers at 7.5, which is right up there. That's how I go at this.
Order submitted.
Oh, bollocks, it hasn't triggered. It hasn't triggered, you idiot. It hasn't triggered. Oh, what an idiot. Made a mistake there. Go on, push up. It hasn't triggered, you idiot. Oh, I've been trapped here. Oh, you idiot. Why did I do that? I've got trapped in a failure, haven't I? You dickhead. I want to get out of this, to be honest with you. I want to get out of this. I could always get back into it.
Order filled.
Get out that one. I got a tick on some of it and less on another. Now it's triggered. It's just too risky, that, I think. Everything's closed. That's the main thing. Okay, so I'm up $45. So I've got one tick on some of them and break even on others. So I won't even count that as a trade. So I think I was a bit fortunate there. I made the mistake by getting in that before it had been. I don't know why I did that, to be honest with you. So yeah, so I got a tick on some of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I got a tick on 10 of them and break even. Oh, it's working now. Look, and break even on the rest. As I got in earlier, too early, and I could have got trapped in the failure, I decided to get out of that one. I made a mistake anyway, so I didn't want to rock the boat. So it's fine. I got no issues with that. I'm about $45. It's better than the other one. So I won't even count that as a trade. Let's have a look. It's probably going to work. The setup's okay, but the fact that I stupidly, that's the trouble sometimes. See, I'd have come back to 2 points there. It's just not worth risking anymore there with the 8 hours low, I think. It was a silly mistake. Trouble is, when you've got to make quick decisions and you're hovering on your keyboard, it's very easy to make a quick mistake. And I did there. I should have waited for it to trigger. If it had triggered, I'd have been in it now, and I'd probably be okay. Now, as we've pushed up there, I'd have probably gone to break even there. We're getting close to the top. But 2 points, I think, is the safer option. Silly mistake. Because there was nothing all day, and when something finally happens, comes. I don't generally get excited. I expected that to break above, and I hit the buy button. That's all. Yeah, it may have been partly. May have been partly. I'd have been getting out here now anyway, or close to the top. Okay, it worked anyway. But the fact that I got in it premature, the sensible thing was to go. I made a mistake. Let's get out of it with minimal damage, and at least I got out well. I think after fees, I made $45 on the whole lot, but it did work for 2 points. I wouldn't have gone for more in this scenario. It may well make it. It looks like it was a tick off, but if I make a mistake, I bet there's going to be a load of people taking that as well. I don't know whether they will or not. I don't think it's a bad trade. Trouble is, when you've had a break, there are people looking to buy. When you've had a break and a new high, sometimes you've got to give it the benefit of the doubt. I thought that's what I'd done, got trapped in the failure. But what I will say is there's more orders above than down, so I think it's more likely. So the 3 points wouldn't have worked as of yet, but as I say, I'd have gone for 2 points in that scenario because of the tops are there, and the ATR is just above 2 at the moment. So it's one of those things. Isn't it weird? Sometimes you don't know what you get that little mental blank for a second, don't you? That kind of little mental block for a second. But it worked for 2 points anyway. But I don't know why I hit the buy button instead of I expected it to break straight above it. I got to stop. Well, I say I'd stop doing that. I don't do it. But when you haven't taken something for a while and you see something materialize, there's a bunch of questions. You could say there's a triple test. There's a bunch of questions going through your head. Channel break, new low. I thought the trade was good. Let me have a look. Who took it? Okay, so the bar was naff on here. On my left chart, it was okay. So I'm guessing probably not a lot of traders will have taken that because they don't all they don't all trade with a second chart. It's probably going to push up a bit more, actually. We got orders at 710, which is there. So we may have got the 3 points. We'll have to touch the... I think we probably will. But that's fine anyway. I made a mistake there. So the sensible thing was to realise I'd made a mistake and get out. I considered taking a small loss, but I thought the bar's there. Sometimes it will take a bit of heat. And if I'd have got out here for a small loss and it went up. So sometimes when you're in, you're kind of committed to a degree. But as I made a mistake there, I rectified it by getting out for break even. Well, I think I got one tick on some and break even on the others. So after fees, $45 up. So better than the obvious, but we're struggling so much as we're getting up here. But to be fair, we've bounced along that line such a lot of times that I don't think it's a bad option to go along there. I just wish we'd have something better here. So maybe that doesn't look terrible. Who knows? But we've had a couple of legs back to the EMA and we've pushed strongly above it and we have bounced quite a few times. You may argue triple test, but there we go. I won't be surprised if that bear bar triggers and it pushes up higher. So maybe it'll work for the full 3 points. But when the ATR is so low, it's 2.15 at the moment. And the sensible thing is to get out of the top there, I think. But it's just so slow, isn't it? On that note, I think I'm going to knock up the head. We're 3 minutes off 3 hours. I did about 30 minutes before. So I've done 3.5 hours today. It's not been an easy day. It's been quite a boring, slow day, to be honest with you. It may just take a week just to get back into it. I suppose traders who took Christmas off may filter back in this week, but hopefully next week should slowly get back to normal. So on that note, I'm going to bid you guys farewell. Have a great weekend. I'll be back on Monday. I appreciate your company. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. And we'll catch up on Monday next week. Bye for now.